strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you know it. I know it. It does not matter who the host is. Anyways, today's Wednesday, June the 1st. Yes, day 152 of the year, and only 213 days left to go. Yeah, that's 213 days left to go in total. So what do you think about it? How do you like it? How does it make you feel? What is the general solution there of the things that are going on? How do you like that? How does that one make you want to skedaddle and move and groove and all that other fun stuff that you probably wouldn't want to do if it was going on? I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, just a question. So anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And we are also hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
You're being infiltrated. Radio Big.
Yes, we are hanging out with our friends at RadioBig.fm. So there you go. Anyways, if you want to be involved with the show, kind of a simple process real quick, go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That should get you moving and grooving and getting you all the way of wherever the hell you want to be. That should be the easiest way to be able to do that. Get you move, get you groove, get everything going. So that's should be a simplified process on how to do it, just in case. Anyway, so let's start talking right away about what was trending in the overnight, because I think that's going to be important stuff. So let's start talking about it, what was trending. Anyways, Bobby Brown bio was trending Tuesday ahead of the premiere of the final 2 segments of A&E's docuseries about the singer. Stranger Things landed in Twitter's top 10 trends after breaking a record on Netflix. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Hashtags Things I Hate to Do was trending yesterday. Tweets included cleaning my room, small talk, drinking decaf coffee, change the sheet. Hold on, what's going on there? The dishes, and get out of bed. So there you go. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Also, hashtag the captain was trending following the New York Yankees all-star Derek Jeter joining Twitter. So was he not on Twitter? Or is that the case? And then hashtag stupid cooking questions landed on Twitter's top 10 trends. Tweets included, what do they call upside down cake in Australia? How long does it take for evaporated milk to evaporate? Why isn't sushi cooked? And how long does a minute rice take to cook? No, seriously. That was just some questions that were actually hitting the list. Also, some other things that we're seeing, of course, according to the charts and across the board, just for the reference purposes of talking about them and talking and moving and grooving and all that other fun stuff. Let's talk about these things because they're going to be also important as well. And this is the fiction and nonfiction book. It's currently on the New York Times bestsellers list. So, taking it from the number 5 spot, yes, the Fiverr Ivor, in case you were wondering. At number 5, according to the fiction category, was Verite, for Where the Crawdads Sing. Really crawdads, but I like to call them daddy, I guess. It ends with Us. At number 2 was Book Lovers. At number 1 was In the Blood. So there you go. If you're looking at the nonfiction category, it goes something like this. At number 5, Finding Me. At number 4, River of the Gods. At number 3 was Killing the Killers. At number 2 was Phil. And at the number 1 spot is The Office BFF. So there you go. That is what was going through the things, through the systems, through the book chartness of everything going on. Anyways, like I said, if you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. Callinradio.com will get you moving and grooving and everything around and about, so that should not be a problemo if you're interested in hanging and banging and doing all the stuff that we get to do here. So if you're not familiar with the show, it's kind of simple process. You interact, we do what you want, we go from there. The other side of the equation goes like this. We bring in some professional broadcasters. They talk about what is going on inside of the world of news and entertainment and let us know what is going on there. We kind of bring back in and go from there and move it all around and shake it and do that kind of fun stuff. And then we talk about what is going on inside of the world of safety and all that kind of tie-in from there. Anyways, with that being said, I think it's time for us to talk about what is going on here in the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. 2 more funerals are happening today for victims of last week's Texas school massacre. A 10-year-old boy will be laid to rest. He was among 19 students murdered in a classroom. One of the 2 teachers killed will also be buried with her husband, who suffered a fatal heart attack just 2 days after the shooting. A South Texas Police Department and school district police force are no longer assisting in the state probe of that deadly school shooting. Mark Mayfield has the story.
Sources tell ABC News the Uvalde Police Departments stopped helping out last week after being criticized by the Department of Public Safety Director, Colonel Steve McCraw. McCraw told reporters on Friday officers should have gone into a Robb Elementary School classroom sooner. 19 students and 2 teachers were shot to death last Tuesday. Police waited almost an hour before engaging the gunman and killing him. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Congressional Democrats want to see gun safety laws on the House floor as soon as possible. Lawmakers have been summoned back from break to work on 8 bills following the mass shootings in Texas and New York. They're expected to try to advance the measures tomorrow. President Biden is getting another update today on the baby formula shortage. He'll meet virtually with companies that produce the much-needed food as they work to ramp up supplies. One is from Australia and plans to provide the U.S. with more than 1 million cans of formula. President Biden is ready to arm Ukraine with medium-range rocket systems as Russia's invasion drags on. Molly Hunter with more.
These will be coming to Ukraine on the condition, according to a senior administration official, that Ukraine will not launch them outside of Ukraine. They will not launch them into Russia.
They're part of the new $700 million aid package expected to be unveiled today. It will reportedly include helicopters, anti-tank missile systems, tactical vehicles, and spare parts. Stock futures are mixed as Wall Street begins a new month. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The US is to send more advanced rocket systems to Ukraine. China's lifting a 2-month-long COVID-19 lockdown in its financial hub of Shanghai. Japan's expanded its cap on daily arrivals from overseas as the country prepares to accept more foreign tourists post-COVID. And the UK Prime Minister's Standards Advisor is said to be considering quitting over whether Boris Johnson breached the ministerial code.
Forecasters say the first tropical system of the Atlantic hurricane season could form by Thursday. Meteorologists say there's a high chance of a tropical depression or a storm forming in the Gulf of Mexico between Florida and the Yucatan Peninsula. They say the new Atlantic storm is likely to take shape from the remnants of Hurricane Agatha, which hit Mexico's southern west coast from the Pacific this week. A rainstorm currently developing on Mexico's east coast will be named Alex if it reaches wind speeds of 39 miles per hour. That storm could reach southern Florida by the end of the week. The jury in the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard defamation trial gets back to work today after failing to reach a verdict on Tuesday. More from Brian Shook.
Closing arguments took place on Friday, with the jury deliberating for roughly 2 hours before the holiday break, then another 7 on Tuesday. Depp is suing Heard for $50 million over an op-ed she wrote for the Washington Post in 2018, describing herself as a survivor of domestic abuse. Heard then countersued for $100 million.
The United Kingdom is celebrating Queen Elizabeth's 70 years on the throne with a week of festivities. Elizabeth became queen in 1952 at the age of 25 upon the death of her father, George VI. History professor Susanna Lipscomb.
The Queen has been this anchor, this solitary fixed point during 7 decades of considerable change.
Since then, she's had a front row seat to history, becoming the nation's longest reigning monarch. The Jubilee celebrations start tomorrow with a public display of horses and military personnel in a parade through London, joined by members of the royal family. Beacons will be set ablaze across the USA as celebrations continue through June 5th. Yellowstone National Park is warning visitors not to get too close to bison. An Ohio woman did just that on Memorial Day and was killed. The 25-year-old got within 10 feet when the bison attacked and tossed her into the air. The park wants you to stay 25 yards away from large animals. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh, yes, there you go, roundabout and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show that you are taking a listen to here on RadioBig.fm and SafetyFM.com currently. I guess I should talk about that. Maybe I will reference this. If you have been hanging and banging with our show for quite some time, I guess I could talk about this now. I guess I can because it's not going to happen. I had a local station and I will tell you it was a pretty popular local station, reach out. And they wanted this little tiny show to start being part of their little venture of stuff. And when it was all said and done, we just couldn't get it to work. We could not iron out what it would look like, what it would sound like. Because keep in mind, because of the things that you and I do on this show together, we would have to do. We couldn't. I don't even believe that we could have called it the Rated R Safety Show. Because testicular radio, I mean terrestrial radio, always encourages you to be not as abrupt as we are when it comes to certain things. So we would have had to change some of the formatting. And here's the other thing. They wanted 18 minutes worth of commercials. 18 minutes worth of commercials per every hour that we did. And I mean, I have to tell you right now, we probably do close, and this is probably not stuff we're supposed to talk about, but I'll tell you anyways. We're cool. We do about 8 minutes an hour on this show of commercials, and sometimes it's even less than that. And I hate that. I mean, because I think it's way too long. So could you imagine us sitting through 18 minutes worth of commercials doing this thing? So no way. It just didn't pan out. I mean, I think it was a great idea of doing it, but it just was never going to work in that world. Sorry, but I figured I would share that. Anyway, so let's start talking about some other things, because that's going to be way more important than anything that I have to say. Let's talk about what is going on according to the hit list. Anyway, citizens of Shanghai, China have been living under strict COVID lockdowns for the last 2 months, but now the Chinese Communist Party is signaling that they have loosened restrictions. Starting tomorrow, mass transit will resume, including high-speed rail and out of the city. So just in case, because of the Chi-Coms don't want to leave. They ensure that they don't. Despite the relaxing of restrictions and protocols, some areas will remain completely shut down from the rest of the city and the world. The Associated Press reports that more than 500,000 people remain in control zones that will maintain strict controls. So what do you think about it? I mean, I think it's kind of interesting overall. So there are people that are not under a level of restriction anymore. And there are some people that are like, oh no, contraire, mon frere. That is not something that I am interested in. That is not something that I am willing to do. There will be no moving and grooving for me right now. Duh. So just some stuff to think about as we are talking. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue moving and grooving and talking about some other things. Late last Wednesday, a man carrying an AR-15 approached a graduation party at an apartment complex near Charleston, West Virginia, and started firing in the crowd, including children. An armed guest shot him dead. No one else was injured. A local TV station reports that the party's guest had earlier approached the man about driving more slowly with so many kids running around. He left and returned with the weapon. The woman who shot the man cooperated fully with the police and has not been charged. I didn't know about this. This is like news to me. I mean, had you heard about it? Anyways, like I have said before, callinradio.com will be the easiest way to get into our little messenger system. And just for the sake of purposes, to reference this as well, as we are doing this and hanging and banging and talking and moving and grooving and all that stuff, here's the gig. If you want to hang out and see things on our streamer and click one button to get into our call-in, the easiest way to do this is go to safetyfm.com and click on the thing that says visual radio. I'm going to tell you I am going to move more and more stuff going over there, and I might even give you some little intriguing things on that side of the house. Just have to be paying some close attention for you to know that it's actually there and readily available. So just for information purposes as we are talking. Anyways, so I did not know about that occurring last week, so it's an interesting one to talk about. So let's get into this real quick. Movie theaters are facing yet another setback. There isn't enough popcorn to meet the demand of the crowds. Yeah, you heard me correctly. The Wall Street Journal reports that not only are popcorn suppliers anticipating not having enough supply, but also the lining material that keeps the butter from dripping out of the cardboard buckets are hard to come by too. I mean, come on. What are we getting to now? I mean, and let's have the realistic conversation here. Yes, it is cool to go to the movie theater and enjoy a movie. Yes, but let's talk about this. The pricing of movie theaters has gotten ridiculous. At least I don't know in your area, but I'll tell you about the area that I'm in. Normally, to go to the movies around where I live, it's about close to about $20 a ticket. $20 a ticket. And keep in mind that there are certain movie chains that start with the letter A for the most part, AMC, that if it is a blockbuster movie, they're testing out adding some more moolah oolah to what the total cost is. Which, I mean, this is not going to encourage me to want to go to the movies. Because here's the thing, the average movie right now is taking about 45 days to make a turnaround before it hits an either on-demand streaming service or it has made it onto that you can actually order it and watch it at home. And if you're a family of four, just using that as an example, you're looking probably close to over $100 easily just to go to the movies. So just something to think about. Anyways, an Indiana donut shop has set the world record for the most donuts sold in a day. Tom's Donut in Angola sold 8,558 donuts in 6 hours, shattering the previous Guinness World Record of 1,700. Hold on. How did they do this? Did they sell them? Were they a penny or something? I mean, we need to understand this. Like, that sounds a little... So was it 8,558 total different transactions, or was it amount of donuts? Was it like, okay, we are going to charge you a penny for a donut or some crap like that for us to make it onto the list? I want to know how you made the list. I really want to have a better understanding of it. Anyways, with that being said, before we get into all kinds of other craziness, let's talk about what's going on inside of the market beat. Let's bring in some John Smalls.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. Equity started the holiday shortened week on a shaky footing, hovering around break even for most of the day. The move is a sign of a cautious market and one that is waiting for the next shoe to drop. This week, the shoe may come in the form of economic data, and specifically the non-farm payroll report. The report is expected to show another month of robust job gains and wage increases, and the risk in that data is to the upside. With the summer season fast approaching, employers are scrambling to fill positions. The takeaway for the market is that stagflation conditions will remain in force for the summer despite the Fed's promise to raise interest rates. It's 2 weeks until the next FOMC meeting, and the expectation for aggressive actions are easing. The FOMC is still expected to hike rates by at least 50 basis points, but the odds of a 75 basis point hike are falling towards zero. The risk in this outlook is the data. There are still 2 major releases of inflation data that could shift sentiment before the next meeting. You can get the inside track in your inbox at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for sharing the information with us of what is going on inside of the world. I know not a lot of people are going to love that news, but it's sometimes some things that we need to talk about and hear about and all that other kind of fun stuff as we are moving and grooving and all that. Cosas, things, yes, thingamajiggers, as we are talking. Anyway, so let's continue talking about some other things. Well, I guess not really other things. Well, let's talk about what we found. Stocks were down on Tuesday with the Dow losing 222 points. The S&P lost 26 points. Each day seems to be setting a new record price towards gasoline. Tuesday's average was $4.62. But I don't know how true that is. I will tell you, yesterday I had the lovely privilege, because it definitely was a privilege, of paying $4.75 a gallon. So with that being said, and talking about gas, let's talk about this real quick. New York drivers to get relief at the pump as the gas tax holiday begins. New York drivers should see a little relief at the gas pumps. That's because the gas tax holiday that was approved as part of this year's state budget is now in effect.
That's fantastic. I wish it would keep going down. That way we all could afford gas.
I'm curious to see how long that tax decrease is going to last before the companies decide to raise it that 25 cents.
Okay, the suspension in the state 16 cents per gallon tax is going to remain in place through the end of December. Going into today, AAA says that the average price of a gallon per gas in the New York state is $4.93. Prices at the pump are about 60 cents up over last year at the same time. So there you go. What a crazy time in regards of that. Just in regards of seeing everything. And as you have noticed, everything continues to go up in price. Just everything just continues to to do so. So let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world right now. So here we go. Ventura County names Teacher of the Year. Do we want to talk about this? About Camilo, the Ventura Country Office of Education has named its Teacher of the Year. Do we want to talk about this? Okay, let's do it.
This year's honor goes to Shannon Kleeman, a biology teacher at Adolfo Camarillo High School in Camarillo. She's been teaching in the Ventura County Unified School District for 23 years. Educational officials say she did an extraordinary job keeping students engaged when they were learning from home during the peak of the pandemic. They also say Kleeman has a knack for making subject matter real and relevant for her students. Kleeman was surprised in her classroom and presented with the Teacher of the Year plaque on Tuesday. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for that one. Anyways, let's continue talking. Yellen says she was wrong last year about inflation. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that she was wrong about last year about the risk of inflation. Mark Mayfield fills us with some more information.
Inflation is at a 40-year high in the U.S., but in March of 2021, Yellen said rising inflation posed only a small risk. On CNN Tuesday, she admitted she was wrong about the path that inflation would take and blamed high prices on unanticipated and large shocks to the economy and supply bottlenecks that she didn't fully understand at the time. President Biden met with Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell on Tuesday and vowed to give the Fed space to address rising consumer prices. I'm Mark Mayfield.
So now that we know she was wrong, but now what the hell happens? I mean, let's talk about that. Maybe that's some more stuff to give some consideration to. So have you been traveling lately? Have you traveled? Are you flying around? Have you noticed the ticket prices are going up? Have you been to any airports where things have changed? Let's talk about some of this. Governor to mark completion of the new Laguardia terminal today, New York Governor Kathy Hochul will announce the completion of the Terminal C in Laguardia Airport. Scott Pringle has more information.
Delta Airlines has completed a $4 billion terminal that is replacing the existing Terminals C and D. This new terminal has 37 gates to accommodate Delta's full fleet. Officials say it has better drop-off and pickup areas, more seating, and more concession space. The concessions feature iconic New York brands, new artwork as well, including sculptures and painted murals. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, thank you very much about that one as we are talking. Anyways, let's talk about this real quick. Chicago's top cop is calling for gun reform in order to fight violent crime in the city across the nation. CPD Superintendent David Brown said that there are too many guns on the street.
Multiple cities in this country had multiple shootings, high victimization everywhere. And the common denominator, guns.
Brown said that most of this weekend's violence was personal disputes that were resolved with guns. Police reported 47 people were shot, including 9 who died over the Memorial Day holiday. Officers seized 250 illegal firearms, including 11 from people at North Avenue Beach on Monday. So a lot of stuff to talk about in that particular regards. Anyways, I think it's close enough to that time, so let's go ahead and do that now, that thing that we do right at the 30-minute mark or so.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So there you go. A lot of information as we are hanging and banging, talking, moving, grooving, and so on. So let's talk about this because I think that yesterday was kind of one of those interesting timelines. If you did hang out on the Jay Allen Show, yesterday we talked about our 4-year conversation. So yesterday, well, we'll really say that it was the 30th because it was the 30th, marked up the 4-year mark of Safety FM and really kind of getting some of this stuff ironed out. And I can't really say, I guess I can say the actual portion of Safety FM forming was about 4 years ago. And yesterday during the Jay Allen Show, the podcast version, I guess we'll call it that way, we talked a little bit about how everything came together. And we talked about what the learnings were over that period of time. And I covered a subject that apparently I did not realize that it was going to have as much interest as people have been reaching out and talking about. So I figured that probably we should talk a little bit more about this today. And I don't think it's super complicated. I think it's pretty easy. It's something relatively well known. And I said this. I said if you want to go alone, you will go fast. And if you want to get further, you'll go as a group. Together we'll get further. Is really what it boils down to. So alone you'll get there faster. Together you'll go further. Just kind of a simple process. And it doesn't really change from anything that we do. Think about it for a moment. There has been times in your lifetime that you have went out of your way and you have done some things and you got there relatively fast because you don't really have to interact with anybody if you want to do something. Just kind of how it goes. You just go, and you stop when you want. But also there are some levels of restriction. And you're kind of going, well, how am I going to be restricted if it's only me? Well, think about this for a moment. The levels of restriction occur over the following thing. The reason why they end up being restricted or restrictive is because of the following. You're limiting to what your knowledge base is, what your capability is. Where if you are doing it as a group, it might be a slower approach, but you will go further down the road. Because now you're playing around with the capabilities of others. You're also using what you would say the limitation of the group, because that's what happens when you do a lot of times things in a group setting. It makes it a lot easier to go further down the pike than what it actually would be by going by yourself. So if you take a lot of this stuff, it's not anything that's kind of going to be world changing, but I was kind of amazed on the amount of questions that came about. And the reference piece is this. It's pretty simple. In my little world here, in the stuff that we get to do, if I had a 24-hour station, similar to Safety FM, that was only consisted of the things that I was talking about, there would not be as much interest as the slew of shows that we have on there, which I believe, if I remember correctly, it's somewhere close to like 18, 19. Just in regards of different presenters that we have on that do different things. And now that's different presenters intertwined between the podcast network and the actual radio station itself. So keep that in mind as we talk about that. So there's a number of things that occur there. And that's not even putting into consideration what we do on Radio Big. And Radio Big, if you've hung out there, you have seen that is mostly a station related to music. And we do this show, the show that we're listening to right now, on that station as well. So we have had some tie-ins to some of our safety stuff on our, we'll say our standard radio station, our freeform station. And that's why it's freeform, because we can do a little mixture of everything. So that's what the conversation was. So I was kind of confused on how, well, I don't know if I was confused, but I was amazed on how much interaction I got about that. But I think that's something that's very well known. If you want to go further somewhere, you do it as a group. If you want to get there faster, you do it by yourself. Just kind of how it works. If you take those models and think about them, think about how that works. Think about how much your organization has changed. Normally, somebody ramps up an idea, looks into it, boom, 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 gets the ball rolling, and it goes fast. But then it gets to a point where you get a group in there, and that speed normally tends to slow down. But you do notice that it does tend to go further. I mean, if you see it any otherwise, please let me know. Callinradio.com. simplest format. And like I have said before, messaging, all the whole 9 yards is right there. Messaging, video messaging, audio messaging, messaging of messaging. It's everything is there. So you can come in, do your gig, do your thing right there as we are hanging out and doing all the stuff that needs to take place on that side in that section. So there you go. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. That's what the information was that was shared during, I guess, our 4-year conversation episode. If you were really taking a look, taking a listen, and all that kind of fun stuff. So there you go. So I look at it from that point of, what the hell do I know? I'm just a guy sitting here behind a microphone, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with that. Like, what the hell do you really do know? That's one way to take a look at it, I guess.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com. It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who'd you like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on LinkedIn.com/safetyfm. That's LinkedIn.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM. Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring Safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you. Okay, there you go. 42 minutes past the top of the hour. This is still the Rated R Safety Show. This one's called New World and You. New World Order. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. This is some cushy. So thanks to Cushy for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. And for the people that are coming in on call-in radio, just a little FYI, a little FYIzer. Just so you to know, that is the only way I can see you. I cannot see you on the socials. I cannot see you on the socials. If you type anything in the socials, I do not see it. I know, it's quite terrible. So that's why I keep on saying it's so much easier if you just go to safetyfm.com and click on visual radio, because the call-in radio button is right there. And you just click on it and go there, and it takes you right through. Simple process as to go through. Anyways, currently 43 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about the most important thing that I will ever tell you, and let's talk about this. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or text the word TALK to 741-741. I'm going to explain something because I get a lot of questions about this. I think that this is the most important subject that we will ever talk about. And people go, well, why do you say that? Because it is. It's about your life. Listen, don't get me wrong. I understand there are times in life that things are terrible. I understand that there are some times in life that there seems that there is no way out. I get it. I really do. I get it. I understand it. But there's help. There's assistance. There's different ways to think about things. There's different ways to have conversations with people. And I think that this subject right here is the most important portion. I will never sit here and lie to you and tell you how life is so easy. Because it's not. And I know that people are like, well, I thought we were supposed to be having fun. Well, we're also supposed to be serious and talk about important things. Yeah, we can joke around and talk about stuff, but we need to demand more for mental health. We need to raise our voices and talk about this. We do not need a month dedicated to talk about it. It needs to be an ongoing conversation about this. Seriously. There is no doubt in my life that this is something that we need to talk about all the time. So that is the reason we talk about this so often. So if you go to their website, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, real stories, learn how to get help, make a difference. You can join a local chapter and learn the facts of what needs to be done. to be able to move forward and talk a little bit more about this with no problem whatsoever. Seriously.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, so let's get into some other things that are going on inside of the world. 46 minutes past the top of the hour. Purse alert. Yes, that's what we're going to start talking about as we are shooting the bull. A body language expert says that how a woman holds her purse or handbag can reveal a lot about your personality. Patty Wood claims that wearing a purse in the crook of your arm is that you are high maintenance and worry a lot about social status. However, wearing it across your body, the purse is sitting in front of you means that you prioritize protection and accessibility. Wearing it behind you demonstrates that you have a cool, calm, and collective personality. As you might imagine, the type of bag that you use also says a lot about you. Those who wear backpacks are independent and tend to want to take care of themselves and everyone around them. And those who carry their bags in their hands tend to be assertive, well-organized, and efficient. Actually, in my experience, if a woman is carrying a backpack, she usually is a mom of 3 or more kids and has a lot of snacks and juice boxes with her, and that means that when a dude is carrying a purse for his partner, never mind, I already know. You don't have to answer that question. I already know what that means. So there you go. So what do you think about that? I think that's kind of labeling people. It's kind of an interesting one to come up with. Anyways, because I'm not sure there's absolutely a huge market for it, but Iceland has throttled our service that lets horses reply to work emails if you for you while you're on holiday. Yeah, you heard me correctly. The world's first out horse your email. Not outsource, out horse. A service is designed to encourage travelers to switch off their technology to make an uninterrupted trip to their country. How can horses reply to emails? Using large keyboards match where they are able to walk, trot, and canter and pace. There are ways across, and then you can sign up for free. Surprisingly, though, the results are nonsense replies to work emails. Similar to when a cat decides to trip across the laptop at your home. Nonetheless, the head of Visit of Iceland said that don't be foolish. Enjoy the distraction-free trip to Iceland. And remember, if you receive work emails while on holiday in Iceland, horses have you covered. So you can go on YouTube and find all kinds of stuff about it, or you can go to outhorseyouremail.com. I'm gonna come right out and say it publicly, stunt. But if horses could reply to emails, we all have lost our jobs a long time ago. Admit it. It wouldn't be the most nonsensical email that you've ever received, especially if you've ever gotten a response from me on we'll say on a Saturday night.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining.
So some stuff to actually talk about as we are hanging and banging on this lovely, because it's always important to be hanging out and to be doing our stuff together and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some things that are going on. But before we do that, I think it's time to bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about what is going on inside of the world of motivation. And so, yeah, I think it's time to do the Motivation Minute. What do you think? Do you like it? I think I like the idea. Do you like it? Let's do it.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Les Brown said, "Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears." I've met many people who absolutely live up to this quote. We can easily avoid the things we're afraid of, and sometimes that limits our success because we have to get beyond our fears to be truly successful. I remember the first time I started a business. It was kind of scary. I was 19, and I can now honestly say I had no idea what I was doing. Now, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know about all of the business details. It was scary, but I can also tell you, I'm so glad I did it. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quote can be submitted for an upcoming program at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlysaMorgan.com. When it comes to the importance of exercise, there are 2 reasons to maintain a healthy moving routine. One is healthy brain and longevity. Second one is visceral fat. There are 2 layers of belly fat. The top layer, known as subcutaneous fat, lies right under the skin. The layer under that, called visceral fat, is the one that increasing evidence suggests may be more harmful, including increased risk of cancer, as it is secreting a growth factor called FGF2, which encourages cell growth. Aerobic exercise and resistance training has been shown to keep visceral fat off. Consuming too many calories while being sedentary can increase visceral fat, particularly as muscle mass decreases with age. Honestly, maintaining some form of routine physical activity is one of the best ways to keep visceral fat low. For additional information on wellness, check out AlysaMorgan.com.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 52 minutes past the top of the hour. So let me explain. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to Radio Big. So RadioBig.fm is totally different than Safety FM because what we do over there is mostly music, with the exception of this show. We do music pretty much 24/7. So if you want to come out, hang out, you're more than welcome on doing so. It is limited, so let's talk about this, to North America. So it is U.S., Canada, and U.K. U.S., Canada, and U.K. U.S., Canada, and U.K. U.S., Canada, and U.K. Now, I did not break the matrix there, but I'm just trying to make sure that we're clear. So it's the United States, Canada. It's really North America, if we want to be real technical about it, and UK. So United Kingdom, United States, Canada, but I went to Mexico inside of there, just so you know. So if you want to come hang out, you're more than welcome on doing so. All you have to do is go to radiobig.fm or go to tunein.com, and you can actually find us listed under Radio Big. So there you go. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things that are happening inside of the world. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, about what was going on inside of the world. Hold on. What is this stuff? What is this nonsense going on around the world? So taking a look around, we are going to talk about some things. We talked briefly about this. So should we talk a little bit more? There was a portion. I mean, do we care a lot about the Stranger Things thing, about how they broke something, or do we not care and just move forward inside of what's going on inside of the world? I don't know. I mean, which is it important? I'll talk about it anyways. The 4th season of Stranger Things racked up over 286 million hours of viewing over the holiday weekend, setting a new record for opening weekend of viewing. Season 2 of Bridgerton previously had the record at 193 million. So I would imagine that we will not be hearing a lot about that at all, right? Anyways, let's talk about this. No winner for Monday night's Powerball drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for a $168 million jackpot or a $99.8 million cash payout. So there you go. If you want to play the game, you're more than welcome on doing so. Got a lot of stuff going on over there. Anyways, if you're looking at some things that happened back on this date, let's talk about them. So let's take a look around at let's take a look at 2017. President Donald Trump withdraws from the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. He felt that the agreement undermined the U.S. economy and put the country at a permanent disadvantage. Trump's decision was backed by many Republicans and strongly opposed the Democrats. A formal notice would be given 2 years later. So there you go. That happened back on this date in 2017. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays real quick. Tom Holland turns 26, Nick Young 37, Nikki Kassar turns 38, Amy Schumer 41, Brandi Khalil 41, Sarah Wayne Callis turns 45, Alanis Morissette 48, Heidi Klum 49. Terry Polo turns 43. Morgan Freeman turns 85 today. So those are the birthdays that are going on today. If you're looking for a reason to celebrate, I have some of those days as well. National Nail Polish Day, National Olive Day, National Go Barefoot Day, National Hazelnut Cake Day, National Heimlich Maneuver Day, National Pen Pal Day. Do people still do pen pal, or is it just kind of like you just type away? And National Say Something Nice Day. Oh, I guess I should have read that before I started the whole show. I would have known better on things to say and things not to say. Anyways, let's talk about Did You Know real quick. Feeling good and becoming increasingly rare these days. According to a new survey in a poll of 2,000 people in the UK, adults say that they are truly feel good, both mentally and physically. Less than half of the time, 47% on average. 1 in 4 respondents deal with anxiety at least once per week, and 40% battle muscle aches most of the days. Sadly, just under 6 in 10, 57%, say they really feel on top of their game. Physically, another 61% have simply accepted that their aches and pains are part of their daily life. When asked for comments, Father Time said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." So there you go. Some things to talk about. I mean, I guess that's kind of a mean one, but it's kind of the truth of life sometimes. Anyway, some whack facts real quick for you. The first Harley-Davidson motorcycle was built back in 1903. Used a tomato can as a carburetor. Cats make about 100 different sounds. Dogs make about 10. Frozen vegetables can have even more nutritional value than a week-old fresh veggies. If aircraft carriers ran on gasoline, they'd get about 6 inches to the gallon. Pilots jokingly refer to mid-air collision as aluminum shower. And astronauts cannot burp in zero gravity, but they can pass gas. Someone explained that one to me, because I think that one could get a little bit interesting. Anyways, if you need a random joke for today, I got one of those for you. Why would anyone choose to go big when the alternative is getting to go home? If you need a phone starter for today, try this one. What's the best used item purchase that you ever have made? It might be this monitor that I'm looking at. What else do I have? What else do I have over here? If you need something for the water cooler, try this one. 11% of people admit that they are still at their current job because their boss allows them to do this. What is it? Come in late. Well, there's some people that allow them to come in late. There's some people that get to take executive lunches, and they'll stick around because of those things. That's one way to take a look at it. Anyways, that's been it. That's it. That is the Rated R Safety Show for this lovely 1st of June. So there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Hopefully you had all kinds of fun today as we got to hang out and do the things that we get to do. Anyways, we couldn't do what we do around here without you, the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. A hungry stomach, an empty pocket, and a broken can teach the best lesson in life. Think about that. Anyways, that's it. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.